HBCU. Lean pass. It's game time. I'm proud and I love my HBCU.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him.
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
When you're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics, there's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
At CDW, we get speed as the new currency of success.
Our team spends way too much time tending to outdated applications and software when they should be focused on driving application agility and innovation.
CDW Amplified Development Services modernizes software and application development to help accelerate innovation and digital transformation.
So you mean building new applications, UI, and mobile interfaces?
Well, you said you needed to innovate more quickly.
Oh, so he's a listener.
To do more at scale, trust CDW Amplified Development Services.
Nope, not going in. Not gonna drown today.
Fixing your credit score can be scary, but with Credit Versio, we take the fear out of it.
Okay, you can do this. Be brave. Don't cry again. Hey, this isn't too bad.
Credit Versio helps dispute negative marks on your credit using our state-of-the-art technology that guides you every step of the way. It's never been easier to fix your credit and increase your credit score. Seriously, you can do this. Visit creditversio.com right now to get started.
Bam, what it do, what it do, what it do. It is the last day of November 2022. How the hell are y'all? How the hell are y'all doing? Welcome to Random Thoughts with DVP. Y'all know who I am. I'm your host, DVP. This is the last show for November this year. if you're in Georgia, a few other states, y'all still doing that final vote. So hopefully we'll get this over and done with, so we can get rid of these annoying, trifling, worthless ass commercials, and we can see what's really about to happen and get crack-a-lacking what's really going on. It's so much going on, and I'm gonna just say this, because I really try to stay out of people's way with how they vote or who they vote for, because we all got different ideas and different value system and different priorities, and that's a great thing. Everybody should be their own person. But what you're doing should make sense at some point. It should make sense. You know, we get caught up in the whole Republican versus Democrat thing, as opposed to candidate versus candidate. And wouldn't it be a great world if we could vote on issues versus candidates? It saddens me that we've been overrun by people who have hidden agendas, and nobody really cares what we want, but people who it don't matter to get so much say so. You know, to think that more than, I think, 70–80% of people want to have a ban on guns. They want you to have pro-choice when it comes to abortions, but people that are elected or people that are in a courtroom don't give a shit about the people that they're supposed to be there for. That to me is a big issue. What's up, Mondrick? That to me is insane. How can the people want something? How can the country want something? And we're talking clearly way over 50%, but we can't get it because GOP and Democrats are locked in crazy battles where they really don't give a shit about any of us. And we can talk about third parties all we want to, but what difference does a third party make if they're not doing what the people want, if we're not holding the people that we elect accountable? And I don't want to sound like a broken record, but again, through this journey that I've been on with Roy, my super producer, he's somewhere in the background right now. But when we started this with one of the shootings in, and I can't never remember the town. Roy, one of the first shows we did when they was talking about the racist Ferguson, and you know, I had to go and do some research and found out, yeah, y'all over 70% black. So how is this y'all in a racist society? But they don't vote because they had been told that their vote didn't matter. And without doing any research, they believed it, which is how the show goes. Who has your power? They believed that they had no power because they were told that they had no power. It's bit into the apple. And it's sad that this is such a prevailing thought over and over again, that people truly believe that they have no power. Because who told them that they had no power? People that look just like them. They had all the power. All of it. And like one of my favorite poets said, we give away our power one block at a time, one rock at a time. We don't do nothing. And it's right there. They had excuse after excuse after excuse. None of them were valid, but it was easier. It was easier to not try to fight, because if you don't fight, you can't lose, than to fight and lose something. Because too often we're afraid of losing. We're afraid of what's on the other side of the fence. You know, we built so much negativity into our own system that that's what we do. Well, what if we don't win? And Roy, can you cut your camera on for a minute? Let me interview Roy right quick. Can you give me 5 quick minutes, Mr. Evans? Are you still with me? He might have walked away. All right, there he is. That's the man. That's the producer. So he might have walked off something. Roy, did it ever cross your mind that my JBN might fail?
Yes.
See, there's nobody who can legitimately say they ever tried to do a business and didn't consider that it might fail. Did the fact that it might fail make you decide, oh, I ain't gonna do it because it might fail?
Not in the hell the least.
Because it might not fail, and we have to stop doing that to ourselves. When we are so afraid of success, we let failure become the dominating thought. We don't want to try because, well, what if I fail? Oh, people gonna look at me and say I didn't make it. Well, what if you don't fail and people look at you and like, damn, you did make it? Well, they might think I'm better than them. And what's the downside to that? What's the downside to the worst thing that can happen is that you don't make it. The only thing worse that you do is not try. And I'm looking at the people who do this over and over and over, and I ask them, what do you tell your kids? Do you tell your kids, don't even try because you can't do it? Don't even try to do this because the white man ain't gonna let you do it. Don't even try this because we can't never be successful. Is that what we tell our kids? That don't try because they might fail? There's nothing out there where we don't stand the risk of failing. Roy has children, and I just want to use him right quick because I know he was there. Roy has children. He didn't know if he was going to be a good dad. Hell,
no, yeah, he did.
It's something we're going to. We believe
that wasn't an option.
Right, but I'm saying we believe that we're going to be good parents, but we don't know because we don't know what's going to happen. But that don't mean we're not going to try. We don't know if we're going to be a good husband. We don't know if we're going to be a good nothing. We have to keep trying and succeeding. When he, and I'm going to use this because I can, when he tricked me into doing this show, I had no idea I would ever have 100 people who followed me, 100 people who would ever watch this show at any given time. I wasn't afraid. I just didn't think nobody wanted to listen to me. But he said, give it a shot. I said, okay. What do I have to lose? What did I have to lose? Oh, you could have made a fool of yourself. Or I could have made a difference. Or I could have made some friends. Or I could have changed somebody's mind to something positive. When we become so afraid of success that we'd rather beat ourselves up with negativity and push that envelope, we are destined for failure because we've told ourselves that we are going to fail. So there is no upside because we believe we're gonna fail. Now, and I'm gonna let him go fade back to black. Roy, did you have some hard times? Did you have some times when you felt like, you know what, this ain't even worth it no more?
Came close.
And guess what? You ride that wave out and you keep doing it. But in the process, there are times we all may have felt like failures, but you don't give up. As Dwayne Wade said, if you get knocked down 20 times, you get up 21. And sometimes, and I'm going to change the word, sometimes you don't fail. You're not as successful as you want to be, but you still learn through the process. So you became a better person because you learned a little bit something about yourself that you would not have known had you not attempted it. See, that's the plus side. There is no real negative to failure. There's a negative to quitting. See, anybody who plays sports, everybody who plays sports loves to win. But everybody who plays sports will tell you, you learn more about yourself and a team from losing. When you're winning, you don't think you're doing nothing wrong. You get a little carried away sometimes. You don't do all the finer things anymore because you think you got this. Then when you get that first L, practices become a little bit more intense. They become a little bit hard because you had got so caught up in winning that you start believing your shit didn't stink. And somebody told you it does. But because you lose, you don't stop playing. You just work a little bit harder to get better. You find out what you're made out of. So when we do this show, who has the power? Who are we giving our power to and why? Why are we giving it away for no reason whatsoever? Why do we find a reason to quit? What drives that narrative? That quitting is so much easier than trying. In 2022, we talked about a lot about accountability and responsibility. We talked a lot about uncomfortable conversations. Because when you're striving for success, what's up, D? When you're striving for success, you got to talk about the bad things that may happen along the way. You don't dwell on them, but you have to consider them so that if they pop up, you have a plan to navigate through the traffic, because very few things are really that easy. But who is it that we giving power to? This is the insanity part, and it's a big thing with Black people. And I'm noticing this as I listen to stuff, as I talk to people, and Black people love, L-O-V-E, love to holler, we ain't got power. We don't run nothing. We don't control nothing. Well, why would I let you control anything if you bring negativity to my table? What am I going to let you be in control of? Why? But the things we do have control of, we minimize them to a point where we become our own worst enemy. And Roy, you got to cut your camera on. But Roy, my JBN is Roy's baby. That's his. Yeah, it ain't WAOK, it ain't NBC, it ain't ESPN. But Roy runs his network. Roy runs his network. Does he want to run ESPN? Maybe one day. But right now, that ain't what he's trying to do. But why knock his hustle with my JBN if he wants to have an ESPN, if he wants to have an HBO? You got to start somewhere. So, oh, he don't own no major network. Well, he got to start somewhere. See, when we were babies, we didn't have college degrees. We didn't have high school diplomas. Some shit we had to grow into. That shirt he got on now, it didn't fit him when he was a baby. You had to grow into it. We don't want to do the growth part. We want to go from 0 to 100 without taking any steps. What's up, Wanda? And this is the part that confuses me about us, because we don't want to work, but we don't mind pushing negativity to the max to keep us down, to keep ourselves down. I'm confused. See, me and Roy, we got a great relationship. Me and Roy can talk openly and honestly. I left the network, went to another network because I thought the grass was greener. I ain't gonna say it was all bad. It just wasn't as good as home. I came back. See, it's okay to venture out, but the thing is, you don't stop trying. When I left to go seek greener pastures, my JBN didn't shut down. This is Roy's baby. He kept doing what he does. Because guess what? Roy knows in the process of doing this, he gonna lose some talent, he gonna gain some talent. That's part of life. Remember that girlfriend you had in the 3rd or 4th grade you thought was the love of your life? She moved on. And guess what? You survived. Then you found a girl in the 8th grade, made you forget about that 3rd grade girl. And you found one in 12th grade, made you forget about that 8th grader. Then you hit full-fledged adulthood. You found you some women. Oh my goodness. All the women much better than that 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade. Now, in 1st grade, it was purer, but it wasn't sustainable. You can get better, and losses help you to get better. But you can't sit back in a state and think that you can't do no better because they say we can't. We ain't never had this. We ain't never had that. And I had a talk with a couple of friends who tried to say this. Hey, Wanda. Hey, Darlene. Who tried to tell me what Black people ain't got. And I listen, and I hear you. But at one point, we never had a Black president. At one point, we never had a Black female vice president. At one point, we never had Black governors. At one point, we never had Black mayors, Black police chiefs, Black sheriffs. At one point, we didn't have a lot of shit. So as things are changing and we're getting power, you know what we do to diminish the power we getting? No, we do. We start throwing subliminal shade. Roy runs my JBN. It's his baby. Is my JBN as big as HBO? No. But when Roy say, yeah, I run a network, when I want to throw shade at it or diminish it, I'm gonna say, oh yeah, my friend Roy got a little network. And I've been paying attention because somebody brought it to my attention. When you tell somebody that they got a little something, you're diminishing it. You're diminishing it.
On purpose.
Yeah, and you throwing shade on them. You throwing dirt on them while you trying. Oh no, I didn't mean no harm. Yes, you did. Why you called it a little network? Why you just can't say I got my own thing? Why you doing that? Because when you listen when you listen, and I start reading, I start looking. When you grow up around white people and you tell a white person, oh man, your son really smart, they're going to start telling you how hard he worked. They're going to start telling about all the things he does. When you tell a black parent how smart their child is, they're going to like, oh, it ain't nothing. Why it ain't nothing? You just got a compliment and you diminish yourself. Now, I understand why they did it in slavery. Because if your son was too big, too smart, or your daughter was this, they got taken away from you. And we can't keep living with that slavery mentality, because most of us ain't never got it. And if you say you did, then I'm gonna ask you, when you got your children, did you tell your children to not be the best them that they could be because something bad might happen to them? Do you tell your children, oh, well, you can't be this, you can't be that, unless you ask the white man first, unless you ask them first, because we ain't got no power? So why is it we give our power away? As my friend said, truth be told, one rock at a time, one block at a time. We are giving it away. Ain't nobody taking it from us. Mr. Producer, because he got a little bit of political background. Answer me this question in your scholarly mindset. If the black vote didn't count, why are they trying so hard not to get us to vote? Why are they trying so hard to make our vote not count if it never counted?
Well, that's the thing. The difference of what I say is that it's like we've talked about it before. It's the local vote that they don't really want people voting for. I think that's the biggest thing. But you're right. They try to take it away because the power of it is important, but that importance starts at the local level.
And if it wasn't important, see, when there's a rigged election, everybody and their mama can vote because it ain't gonna count. They depend on us not voting because we'll take away our own power because we believe it don't matter because somebody told us it didn't matter. And it's somebody that told us, because I did the research again, who is telling us that our vote don't matter? It's people that look exactly like us. Exactly like us. We don't vote because of us. I ain't heard 45 saying black people shouldn't vote. He's trying to get the black vote. GOP trying to get the black vote. Why are they trying to get the black vote if the black vote don't count? So stop with the madness. Stop saying what we ain't got. Stop saying we don't run shit. We run tons of shit. And we run it so much that when something goes wrong, we say we don't run it so we don't have to accept accountability and responsibility. See, when I ask people about the closed shops in the hood, why are there so many closed shops in neighborhoods? But you see all these people, they not struggling. They shopping at Lenox Mall, they shopping here, they shopping there, but they won't buy from their own. See, you got power to make your neighborhood be a thriving neighborhood, because when you go to a thriving neighborhood, you know who goes to the corner stores? The neighborhood. You know who goes to the places right around the corner? Those people in those neighborhoods. They don't drive 30, 40, 50 miles to go out and get better brand stuff so they can brag about how much they spent somewhere else. They shop in their own neighborhoods. So when your neighborhood complains about you not supporting them, is there any truth to it? Because you want to go somewhere else? Do you not shop at your boy's wing shop because you want to go to Popeyes? Do you not? And these are the things that we do, and we look to blame everybody else. And let me get this right. Darlene, it's not that we don't stick together, because I hate when people say that. We do stick together. We stick together. If you look at the movie Wakanda, if you look at the movie Black Panther 1, 2, whatever, you see a bunch of us there. We stick together. We support things that don't support us. What is Disney doing? What is Disney doing for the black people? And you know what? We have no expectation of Disney. But we expect politicians to do something. And I ask people, and I live in Georgia. And when people start talking about Warnock, and I say, tell me what promise Warnock made to black people. Because he ain't a black people politician. He's a politician for the state of Georgia. So what promise did he make to black people that he didn't keep? You can't tell me. And this is where my frustration comes in. A person who is not of color cannot tell you anything, but you're willing to vote for them, even though they said they almost the same thing. They're doing things that ain't for you, but you won't vote for me if I don't specifically say I'm gonna do something for black people. See, you have power, and you know it, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be so adamant about professing that you ain't gonna vote for somebody. Because if it don't count, why does it matter? See, I can boycott Gucci, but I really can't. You know why I can't boycott Gucci? I don't buy Gucci. So I can't boycott something that I don't have no control over Gucci rising or falling. I'm not a Gucci shopper. And people say, oh, we got to boycott this. For you to boycott an industry, you have to have been spending money there in the first place. If you weren't spending money there, your continued lack of spending is not going to affect anything. They're not losing what you never gave them. The fact that you will say out loud that you're going to boycott an industry tells you that you know that you have power. Because if you don't have no power, what difference would your boycott make? What difference would it make? You ain't got no power, so who cares? But when it's time, we got nothing to say. When it's time, we go back to being the things that we were, and we go back to being beggars. We go back to wanting to have a slave mentality where we want somebody who doesn't owe us anything to do something for us. Now, we're not going to sit back and act like history didn't happen. We know that slavery happened. We know that oppression happened. But let's step outside this bubble. Let's step outside of this lie that we're living in. White people are born privileged. Right? That's what we say. That's what we say. Who was welfare designed for? It was designed for white people. Who dominated welfare? White people. All of them weren't born with privilege. We keep wanting to compare the 1%ers with everybody. I know plenty of white trash. What privilege do they have that I don't have? But I'm gonna keep giving them power simply because they're white. Or they can do stuff and get, like what? Like what? What did Jeffrey Dahmer get away with? What is 45 getting away with? White people trying to bring him down. But we sit back and we make these statements that are nonsensical because it gives us a chance to be unaccountable. It gives us a chance to be irresponsible because we can just say crazy shit. We can just say it and keep on moving. Isn't that insanity? Who has your power? Who are you giving it to? One block at a time, one rock at a time, simply because you don't want to be held accountable, simply because ignorance is bliss and it's better not knowing and not failing. So you just ain't gonna try nothing. You ain't gonna try nothing. You are content with being a failure because it's okay. It's okay. Why is it okay? I'm looking at so much. I'm looking at so many things that we have power over. Do we run it? Well, for that, we have to define what is running. Everybody answers to somebody, except maybe that 1%, which most of us ain't in. That's why they're the 1%ers. Roy owns my JBN. It's his baby. If he don't want to run it, he don't have to. But as Roy expands and he gets people like me who host shows, he gets advertisers. Roy has to answer to somebody once he starts doing that. That's the price of growth. If you ever remember when you listen to your favorite radio station, when they first came out, they had very few commercials. Everybody, little radio stations that play, oh man, they ain't hardly got no commercials. You know why they don't have a bunch of commercials? Because they're brand new. The bigger they get, the more commercials they're gonna have, because now they got somebody else paying the bills. When somebody else paying the bills, you got to kind of acquiesce to them. That's how society works. That's how society works. But again, wouldn't it be great if we voted on politics instead of politicians? Wouldn't it be great if every year, every 2, 3, 4 years, the issues that affect Americans were put on the ballot as opposed to having somebody speak to us? Wouldn't it have been great if we could have voted for abortions? Wouldn't it be great if we could vote for gun rights? That way we know what society wants, not what somebody thinks that we want, not what somebody thinks we have to negotiate to. And yeah, it means a little bit more work because a lot of them bills got way too much, but they could just make them line items. Nothing hidden. Do you want to have the ability? Should women have the ability to choose abortions or no? Yes or no? It's a simple question. Every poll has said the majority of people, Democrats, Republicans, blacks, white, Indians, Peruvians, everybody, the majority believes that women should have the ability. Everybody said the women should have the right to choose. Even pro-lifers, most pro-lifers still believe that women should have the right to choose, especially with mitigating circumstances. Especially. So why are we electing politicians on either side who don't do what we want? Why don't we hold them accountable for what they tell us they're going to do? Not for what we want them to do, but for what they ran on. I've listened to 4 Herschel Walker's things. Straight comedy. Straight comedy. If I hated everything that Raphael Warnock has done, there is no way I would vote for Herschel Walker. At a political function, you would rather be a werewolf than a vampire because werewolves can kill vampires and you didn't know that. At a political debate, you pulled out an honorary badge to try to make out like you were a real cop. People saw this. What is there to debate about it? What is there to debate? It's in your face. It's in your face. I'm confused. Who are we giving power to? And why? Why do we give it up so quickly? Except we're willing to take it from each other on a regular basis. Like I said, we'll throw shade at our friends who got something. Oh yeah, we got a little network. Really? Let's compare it to yours. Let's compare it to yours. Do you have one? So what makes his little if you don't have a network at all? Why do you feel the need to throw shade at somebody who's trying to do something? When I started doing this, the very first show, I want to say we had 3 people to listen. Roy, I think Roy said, give me 90 days. He might have said 30, I don't know. Because I didn't want to do it. I didn't think people would listen to this. But I went in with an open mind because somebody who truly didn't know me believed in me. So why would I take that and sit back and say, oh, no, I can't do this, I can't do that. Roy worked with me, get me through the long pauses, getting me to understand how to make things work and keep talking. It wasn't easy, but I had somebody who believed in me. Roy didn't know me. Roy met me while I was working somewhere else. We became Facebook friends. He said something about my page and he said, you should do a show. See, he saw something I didn't see because I didn't have ignorance is bliss. I didn't know. I'd never been a talk show host. I've never been a radio show host. I've never had my own little show. Roy didn't hold none of that against me. Roy was like, all right, we're going to do this. Now, just want to throw Roy under the bus. Roy used to be on the show with me, so when I had a moment and I needed to take a break or whatever, I could bounce off Roy. You know, Roy trying to inflate my ego and make me think I could do this by myself now, so he just disappeared and fade off the black, so I'm going to call him out on that. But Roy's faith in me made me stronger. And Roy did something, my dad did this before to me. Anybody who knows me know, I was a sheriff. I was an instructor. I started off teaching with my dad. I was the backup guy. My dad said, when you gonna start teaching by yourself? I said, I ain't ready yet. He said, okay. So we did this song and dance for about 3-4 months. Then one day my dad said, hey man, can you get him started? I'm gonna be running a little late. Okay, I can do that. Because I know he coming. So I started my class at 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock come, he ain't there yet. 10 o'clock come, he ain't there yet. Class got to go on. I'm still doing my thing. 2 o'clock come, he still ain't there. Class over at 5 o'clock. His ass ain't showed up yet. I called him and said, Dad, what happened? He said, I checked in on you. Everybody said you was doing a good job. I said, where you at? He said, as long as I was there, you were never going to learn to do it by yourself. You're ready. You just scared to do it. But if I ain't there to be your crutch, guess what happens? You're going to do it anyway. Roy did the same thing. Roy just didn't show up one day. He was right there in that little dark corner, blacked the screen out, muted his mic, and just left me stranded. And guess what? Roy proved without knowing me, he knew more about me than I knew about me. That I could do this, for the most part, by myself. I just like having a crutch. But I can do it by myself. I was just uncomfortable. I was a little nervous. What if I say the wrong word? I kept giving myself a bunch of reasons to fail, as opposed to thinking, well, shit, what if I do a good job? Well, shit, what if people do like me? I never thought about the positive side of it. Because that's what we do to each other. And sometimes you need somebody who won't let you fall on that proverbial sword of failure. You don't know what you can do till you try it. Who has your power? Who has your power? Who are we giving it to for no reason whatsoever other than the fact that we are simply afraid? This is how you build teams. This is how you build villages. This is how you build strength. See, my buddy, Wanda Diane, is on the show. Wanda Diane used to aggravate me because Wanda Diane wanted me to be better than I wanted to be. And she would jig at me. It wasn't even disrespect. I just didn't like it because she kept pushing me. If I was wrong, she would correct me. She was making me get better. My wife made me start doing more and more research about different things I'm gonna talk about, as opposed to there are lots of things that are my feelings, but Roy knows there are times that we speak and it's strictly fact driven. Doesn't matter how he feels about it, doesn't matter how I feel about it, because facts don't change. Feelings do. The facts are the same. Once you start doing the research and you get to facts, you can speak a little bit more clearer. You can speak with a little bit more bass in your voice. And I have to appreciate the Wanda Dianes of the world, the Roys, the trainers who push me to be better, who push me to study more, who push me to stop speaking. I can speak with passion, but I stop speaking more about how I feel about factual events, because there are some things that I like that are not right factually, but it's my preference. Who has your power? Who are you giving your power away to for no reason whatsoever, other than you are afraid, other than you are lazy, other than sometimes some of y'all just ain't shit. And you want people to not be shit with you. Remember what our grandparents said, or maybe your parents said it, misery love company. So when somebody ain't got nothing, they want you to have nothing too. I'm telling you now, divest yourself from those people who don't want you to have something because they ain't got nothing. Divest yourself from those people. They mean you no good. People who don't even know you are trying to take your power from you. If you didn't have power, they couldn't take it. That's as simple as it gets. They can't take what you don't have. You keep giving it away, one rock at a time, one block at a time. I look at all these different scenarios. That one was about politics. Again, I'm not going to tell you how to vote, who you should vote for, because we all got different priorities. But voting for an imbecile based on his action, based on his actions, people will tell you who you are, who they are, if you listen. They will tell you who they are if you listen. You have a choice then. When Malcolm said, use your ballot like a bullet, make a good decision. If you don't want to vote, that's fine. That's your choice. I'm not going to sit here and argue about that with you. But understand, when you don't vote, that means, as my mama told me, when you don't vote for something, STFU, you chose not to pick a side, good or bad, so you have no voice in this matter. When you say you don't care, keep that same thing going. Keep it going. Don't sit there and not vote and tell other people you shouldn't vote. Oh, they're going to do what they want to anyway. You're right, because you let somebody in who said what he was going to do, and he did it. We electing groups of people who have said they want to diminish our voting. They said it. That's what they want to do. Why are we electing them if they want to get rid of our vote? They want to get rid of electors and let the governor pick. We hear them say this out loud, but we don't want to vote for somebody because they don't mention reparations. Who has our power? Who are you giving it to? I'm looking at the system where men, and Ray might well put your camera on because I know this one you're going to want to participate me with. And y'all know how I feel about this whole men versus women war. It's one of the dumbest things going. But I'm looking at men try to devalue women, and women are going for it. I'm confused. I saw a male figure who has been on this show and caused me to take several big swigs of drinks. He made a post that said, I'm paraphrasing, a woman with a child is not a good choice. She's falling closer to the bottom of the barrel because she has a child. If she has more than one, the more children that she has, the further to the bottom of the barrel she falls. Now, if you know anything about me, in my entire life, I have probably dated 3, maybe 4 women tops who didn't have children. I like women with kids. But this guy, what upset me most about his post was he got a black woman pregnant. Twice. She got 2 of his babies. He chose not to marry her. So you made her worthless by your own standard. You made her worthless. Who are we giving our power to? And then you're going to sit there and make a post diminishing her? But you did this. You became an absentee father. You did this. And some ladies are going to buy into this narrative and think they're a lesser than because a dude, and I use that term extremely loosely, a dude used them to try to bring them down to make them subservient to him. All right, let me go on and read it since he put it up there. We wonder why we're not making progress. I cannot call myself a bitch, hoe, gangster, and thug every day, then get up and do something constructive. That is impossible. It doesn't get much better than that. I can't keep saying I'm the worst. Y'all know how much I hate the N word. I hate, I'm looking for a real nigga. I don't want a woman who look for a real nigga. I'm not going to be that for you. And when you put that out there that you look for these niggas, when you get a nigga treatment, then you have nothing to fuss about. You are looking for a nigga. So you got nigga treatment. There is nothing good about being niggas. Nothing. Nothing.
Wait a minute, Russell. No, Russell. He's not saying don't vote. He was saying be educated when you vote. He's telling you your vote is important.
Who you saying that to? I don't even see nothing from Russell.
Russell Haynes.
So I don't even see that.
Actually, that was one of his comments. So no, that's not what he's saying. It's the complete opposite. He wants you to be more educated in your vote. That's the problem we have. Not just that we don't vote, but a lot of times we're not educated in why we're voting.
And we let people tell us stuff that ain't factual. See, I watched one of the commercials. I'm gonna go back to politics right quick. I watched one of the commercials for Warnock, and one of my issues is transgender. I have no beef with transgenders in general. I do have a beef with men, naturally born men, competing with naturally born women. I have a problem with that. No matter what surgery they have, they are biologically stronger than a woman. 99% of the time. Why don't they have their own league? We got sports for mentally disabled kids. We got the Special Olympics for that. Why don't they just have transgender games? Bam. I'm thinking I can't be that smart, but how easy to fix that? But anyway, on this commercial that Herschel is running, Raphael voted to have transgenders in sport. And if you look at it at face value, there's truth to that. But he didn't. The transgender bill came on the back of another bill that gave LGBTQ the right to marry. It's in the bottom of it. So he voted on this for LGBTQ to have rights so that they could get married, so they could be on each other's insurance, so they could have the same rights as heterosexual couples. But they picked the little minute detail out on it. And that's what they pushed. Because see, I'm against boys competing with girls. I'm against it. Where I come from, and I know I'm old, we're old, when boys and girls compete at the same time, you know what we call that? We call that co-ed. But there is no confusion about who is who. On co-ed teams, let's just take softball. There are 10 people. You gotta have, every league I played in, you gotta have at least 4 girls on the team. At least. Some got 5. But you gotta have at least that. But it's boys and girls competing together, not a boy versus a girl. The swimming thing, the track thing, insane. But the power, what's that?
Laughing at Robert.
The power thing is what confuses me though. Why are we giving our power away? Why are we letting people who mean nothing have so much say so? Why? Why, ladies, why are y'all letting these dudes who mean you nothing but harm, why are y'all giving them so much earplay? Listen, we've all made mistakes in relationships. Some of us have been in fair relationships. Some of us have been, I'm speaking for the men now. We've been in relationships with women. See, guilty dude. I got a woman pregnant, didn't marry her. But I ain't gonna never talk bad about a woman, especially a woman with a child. For a dude to do this, he's trying to take your power from you, because in the story of life, we've seen many a woman marry and the kids get a bonus dad. We've seen kids get bonus mothers. So it don't put you at the bottom of the barrel. This is a control figure where somebody is trying to steal your power to make themselves, feel better. We will do things. We generically, as in dudes, because I refuse to call them a grown-ass man. Dudes will do things to try to diminish what you bring to the table. I listen and I'm told, oh, we can't do nothing unless we all get together. Can you name any time in history, Wanda, Roy, where everybody has gotten together for one cause? I'm gonna say, without giving y'all time to think, hell no, it ain't never happened. That's not the rule. That's not the rule of the world. The majority speaks. And if enough pockets get together, even if we don't become the majority, we can make the majority weaker. But if we keep thinking all of us got to have the same thought and we cannot have no individuality, it will never happen. Me and Roy, we joke about it all the time, Jedi and Sith, but we have commonality. But me and Roy don't agree on everything. Which one of us is wrong? Neither. We're different personalities. We don't have to agree on everything. But what we do agree on, we love black women. We agree on there's nothing greater than a black woman. Now, how we define her greatness, they may not even be at the same levels, but it's the same end game. We don't have to agree on every little step. So I want us to stop thinking that we all got to get along. We don't. We ain't got to get along. We don't have to have the same mentality, because what you set yourself up for then is a single point of failure. If me and Roy thought exactly alike on everything, when somebody hit us with something different, who's going to be able to defend them? Because we think exactly alike. So ain't nobody thought about something else. And we ain't got no other plan. We're going straight ahead. Well, if the road collapses, then what we going to do? I'm looking at him, he looking at me. Hell, the only way I know to get there is Main Street. The only way he know to get there is Main Street. We don't know nothing about Main Boulevard that go around this little thing, because we sitting there and people don't like to have people who disagree with them. If me and Roy...
Keep talking, I'll be back.
Okay, if me and Roy had to agree on everything doing the show, there wouldn't be a show. Because sometimes he comes with something different that I may or may not have thought about. When Wanda checks me and makes me think about something, she's giving me a perspective that I've never thought about. This is how we become better, people, not by sitting around and always agreeing on the same thing. We become better by having people who give us power, because they give us knowledge. They make us research. They will give us things to read because they know, hey, this is part of what you're talking about. Did you know this? Wanda will shoot me an article or a document for something I never saw. I'm like, oh shit. She sent it to me, I researched it. Then, and I trust Wanda. I trust her completely. But I'll Google and look for another article to see if it's something that the sense or agrees with it, so that I become smarter. They make you smarter by challenges. The challenges aren't disrespectful. When we just want people to agree with us, get along to go along, you're dumbing yourself down. You're dumbing yourself down. Why? Why? Because that's what we're doing. Man, why you just can't go along with what I say? Why you can't just do this? Why you can't just do that? Why should I have to do that? Why should I have to lose who I am just to make you feel better? Who does that? Who does that? And why? Who has our power? And who are we giving it to? And why? Why? It makes no sense to me. And we do this over and over again. If we don't have any power, we can't give power away. That's what you need to understand. We can't give away what we don't have. So marinate on that. Marinate on that. Because does it not make sense? See, if Wanda knows that I'm broke, she ain't gonna ask me for $20 because she know I ain't got it. When one asks me $20, it's because she thinks that I have it, or at least have the potential. And that we're cool enough that she can get it from me. But if one says, man, that dude always broke, she ain't gonna ask me for nothing. I have nothing to give. They keep trying to take stuff from us because we have something to give. We just want to not acknowledge it. We want to take away our own power. One rock at a time, one block at a time. I saw the picture with Jerry Jones, and everybody jumped on the bandwagon. Oh, he's a racist. This, okay, he's a racist. So now what? Oh, he should be forced to give $10 million to this. You gotta be shitting me. You're basing the fact that he's a racist on a picture from 60 plus years ago when he was 14 or 15 max. Really? This is what you're doing. The picture shows him doing nothing. It is a still picture. You can insert whatever you believe, but factually speaking, there's nothing you can insert in it. What's up, Dougie Fresh? But tell me this, people. Tell me this and tell me true. Be honest with yourself. When you were in high school and a fight broke out in the cafeteria, did you finish eating or did you try to get closer to see what was going on? I will tell you from my perspective, me and my little crew, I was a nerd. In one school, I just walked away. But most time, people get close because they want to see Everybody want to see the fight because we like violence. Everybody want to see. If somebody would have took a snapshot of somebody getting hurt and you were in that picture, does that mean you had anything to do with the violence? Anything. But we're taking a picture from 60 plus years ago. Who in here can tell me that you are the same person that you were 10 years ago? And this ain't defending Jerry Jones. I believe he is what he is. But to take a picture from 60 years ago and try to say he should do something is insanity. But the mere fact that you feel like you can ask for $10 million in this, it shows you have power. You're asking for something. Now, this is where the controversy comes. Y'all got a famous rapper, 2 or 3 of them. They look like you. Snoop took pictures with Donald Trump. Snoop, who is a racist. Snoop took pictures, was on the show with Martha Stewart, who's a criminal. What did he have to give back? You hanging with racists. You hanging with racists because him and Trump all up buddy. And this is recent. This is recent. What are we asking Snoop for? Again, my controversy. I talk about the new KKK. This is my personal belief, but it's done with research. The new KKK, Kanye, Kyrie, Kaepernick. People love to talk about them and say where they are. I don't knock all that, but we putting words in their mouth. Kaepernick freely admitted he doesn't vote. Kaepernick freely became concerned about the plight of Black America when he lost his starting job. When he was a starting quarterback, he didn't care that we was getting killed. He cared once he became a second stringer, but he never talks about it on his off time. He never talks about Blacks on his off time. When he talked about all the things he won't do for America, he never left. He kept getting them American paychecks. But this is who you guys want me to value as a voice of something. He spoke on something at the wrong time. Because anybody who's ever had a job know that when you want a job, they're paying you to do your job, nothing else. When you work for McDonald's, you cannot bring in Burger King on your lunch break and eat at that McDonald's table. Not gonna happen. Sure, he has freedom of speech. We all have freedom of speech. Freedom of speech does not relieve you from freedom of consequences. Who has your power? Kaepernick played ball on Sundays. What did he say on Fridays, Thursdays, Tuesdays? Anything? Quiet as a church mouse. Then he went to Nike. Then we were going to boycott the NFL for all these reasons that made sense to some of y'all because they won't let him back in. But he was trying to get back in to the same place he called the plantation. Listen to how that sounds. Who are we giving our power to? Why am I boycotting something that a man who is supposed to be a speaker for us wants to get back into after he called it a plantation? If you knew a lady that was in an abusive relationship and you went to save her and she told you she wanted to go back to the abusive man, who is wrong? Who are you gonna keep you gonna keep saying, oh, she did see that? At some point you gotta cut your losses when you see that you can't help her, when you realize your cause, you put all your faith and energy in the wrong place. Kanye wants Trump to be his vice president, but we're supposed to side with him? Kanye, in meetings with his executives at the Gap and Adidas, is showing nude pictures of his wife. Kanye made a song that told y'all that he was gonna leave everything, all y'all for a white girl. And damn, he did it. Do your own research. There are certain things that we talk about, there are certain things that we don't agree on, and that's okay. Me and Doug, my high school buddy, there's certain things we don't agree on, but there are certain things that we do agree on. The point is to educate each other so that we have different viewpoints. That, damn, I didn't know that. Damn, I didn't know that. Because you learn things from the viewpoint that you want to see them. You learn things, and some things that you learn may not be great. But most of what you learn, if it's something you like, you're looking for the good 9 times out of 10. You will overlook the bad. I do not even like the Dallas Cowboys. But for me to sit back and say, Jerry took a picture 60 plus years ago that shows he's a racist. He's standing there like this. He ain't holding no signs. He ain't swinging. He's in an all-white school doing what all white kids did at all white schools when black kids showed up. He's standing there. He's standing there. Peer pressure's a bitch, huh? Just like when fights broke out at the school, me and Doug, and there were lots of fights. And when people got to fighting, nobody just stayed sitting. Most people didn't even try to break it up. Most people got up and watched. And if somebody would have been around with a camera and took pictures and saw people standing there, do we make them guilty too? We make them guilty about what? Because they're standing there? Because they ain't doing nothing. They're not participating in anything. Oh, we know what he was doing. We don't know shit. And it upsets me that black people do not want to be judged as a whole. But when we're feeling self-righteous, we judge as a whole. All white people this, all white people that. But as soon as they say all black people, oh, we're not all white. But that's not what we preach. We preach that all white people are alike. Even though we know good and well they're not. Most of us have seen Trailer Trash. Trailer Trash ain't nothing like the top 1%. Who has our power? Who are we giving it to? Who are we giving it to? Fellas, when you decide that you want to take advantage of these women and then try to make them feel substandard, then you make them easy prey. Then you get mad when they go to another race. You get mad when they go to another sex. But you made them self-conscious. You made them feel like they were not worthy enough. They gave you that power and you abused it. So when we say we don't have power, why don't we? Why don't we have the power? A year or two ago, I'm not sure how long ago it was, there was a black girl who was on a trip with her friends, wandered into a freezer in a part of a hotel that was blocked off and died in the freezer. But she on a vacation with her friends. She got drunk, according to somebody. She died. Now we see this girl from New Mexico on a trip with her friends. She died. They came back with foolishness and fuckery. They came back with foolishness and fuckery. Who do we give our power to? We ain't heard the whole story yet. But what we do know is somebody that looked like her was responsible for her death. So, parents, ladies and gentlemen, I hated the post then, I hate it now. When everybody was making the post about, oh yeah, we got to talk to our kids about the police because they just out here killing recklessly. You can't point to nothing that points to that number. Even though I agree that one is too many. But what we're doing to ourselves, the genocide that we're creating amongst us is way worse than what anybody else is doing to us. When we'll have to talk with our kids about the company they keep, not the friends they choose, but the company they keep, who are we giving power to? We're not going to discuss that with them because we don't want to have that conversation. It's an uncomfortable conversation. We're too busy not parenting to be concerned parents. We're too busy wanting to be friends to do our true parenting roles. So when something happens to our kids, we look at a way to blame it on somebody else to diminish our absenteeism in the system. Who has the power? Who has the power? And why do we give it away so freely? Why do we denounce it so freely? Why is that? Dougie Fresh, who got the power of you? You got a house. Did you get a house where you wanted to? You got a job, you're working, but we don't have power. We don't control nothing. What is the nothing that we don't control? Who gets to make your decisions? If Doug decides he don't want to go to work tomorrow, Doug got total control over that. Back in the slavery days, he wouldn't have had them choices. But we just toss it away. And if it don't save their lives, Wanda, once it's a conversation with our children that may say, if it don't save their lives, it will at least empower them, and we will give them knowledge. Because kids, even teenagers, are still naive to the ways of the world, because some of them, parents, Wanda, DVP, Doug, Roy, we're all partly guilty of wanting better for our kids, don't we? We want them to have a better life, so we shield them from some of the things that we grew up. We don't talk about a lot of the evils out there, because if we don't talk about them, maybe they won't show up. We don't want our kids jaded. But if we don't tell them about the pitfalls in life, about how to spot people, about how to listen and watch people, we're doing them a disservice. It starts with us. You don't want to make them paranoid or scared, but you do need to make them conscious. You do need to make them conscious. These are the things that can happen. Exactly. Too many Black people are too busy living their best lives and balling to have uncomfortable conversation, or to even have the time to be a parent. Being a parent is more than just having a child. Y'all made a post. A father who doesn't teach his kid to survive after they leave the house is a bad father. Well, that's a shitty statement. That should be true of a parent. A parent who does not raise their child to survive outside of the house is a shitty parent. What's up, poetically speaking? When are you going to come in with some good word? We need some good poetry coming on here. But we don't want to do this. We are too busy trying to act like there's nothing harmful in the world other than cops, other than white people. But we're committing genocide within our own race, one block at a time, one rock at a time. And I know you did yours, Wanda, because I met one of your wonderful boys. But this is what we can't be afraid of. We have got to start doing a better job. I saw a post from one of my friends who, her child was in school and they were doing some things, and her child got upset because the teacher wanted to teach them a Black song, and the girl was like, "Nah, that song is about slavery." And I forgot the name of the song, but it was one of our Negro hymns. The teacher was trying to enlighten her. And I'm guilty of this because my daughter's 8 and, no excuses. How many of our kids know the Negro National Anthem? Hell, how many of them know the name of it? Do they know the words? This is us not passing it along. This is us not doing that. Why is it? We keep saying we need to get together, we need to stick together, we need to have our own. Well, we got our own national anthem. It's about to be December. Me and Trina have been celebrating Kwanzaa for 3 or 4 years now. Why ain't more black people doing Kwanzaa? It won't put you in a financial bind. It's something that we can take as ours. We woke, we conscious. And I'm not going to sit here and bash anybody who does Christmas. I got my beliefs about Christmas. Yeah, I got your beliefs about it. All these holidays and whatever you do is what you do. You got to do what makes you happy. But at some point, we still have to use the enlightening process. And if we're going to do better, we have to start doing better. See, I remember the good old days because I'm an old man. When you heard people singing, lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven. Everybody started singing because we all knew the song. I knew it when old people sung it. My whole age, but we knew this song. Do it now, and people just gonna look at you. What you doing? We don't have any Negro spiritual hymns. We don't have this. So while we keep talking about we want the white man or the government to give us our Black history back, the Black history that we have, are we passing it along? Who has your power? Who are you giving your power to? Poetically speaking, don't be so hard on those who don't know. Those who don't know don't want to know. In this age of information, not knowing is the option. And it's okay. It's okay to to use the ignorance is bliss. But then you can't piecemeal it. You can't one day want to be this warrior, and then the next day you just you in a confused place. We can't have it both ways. But if they're broke, Kwanzaa makes way more sense. We will go out and go broke for Christmas, which to me is insane because you know it's coming. It comes at the same time every year. So you got 11 months to save up for one day. And people still manage to go broke because we prioritize a day that means nothing to most of us for a reason. But then you holler you woke. Then we blame white people for something. We blame the government for this. We blame police for that. You can't be woke and jumping off the bridge and pushing somebody out, you blame everybody else. And that's my issue. Again, we don't ever all have to agree. We all have to bring about enlightenment. When you want to be this people, you have to accept the fact that, what they say, you're going to break some eggs to make some cake. You can't get around it. It's going to be some tough moments that come along. That's the reason why we need uncomfortable conversations. That's the reason why we have to accept accountability and responsibility. That's the reason why we have to stop trying to bring each other down. Poetically speaking, here we go. Poetically speaking, I know her. I don't even have a book with me. She writes poetry. See, now, remember we talked about earlier? She writes poetry, period. She's got a couple of books. She can tell you some stuff she does. I'm not going to say, oh, yeah, she got a little poetry book, because, again, we don't even understand how that's throwing shade, calling it a little something. We need to eliminate that terminology from our vernacular. Like, we need to eliminate, I take that back. I can't even say we need to eliminate the N-word, because sometimes people on some nigga shit and they need to be called out on. But why throw shade and say, yeah, she do a little poetry. She does poetry. She does a great job of it. No need to diminish it because I feel inferior or I want to bring her down to my level. Sometimes it's like we have a fear of pushing others up because they may get too high for us. My little buddy, I'm gonna talk bad about him. My little buddy Robert Stafford is on here. He might have left now because I don't know what he's doing. He has a show on Tuesdays. DJ has a show coming on after this one. What's the harm in me promoting it? It's no little show. It's what they do. Mondrico, I don't know if he's still here or not. Mondrico been my cell phone guy for ages. I want to say he got me my first bag phone. That's how long we've been knowing each other. We can have uncomfortable conversations. That's what people need to bring to the table. Why do we have friends who are not enlightening us? What are they bringing to the table? Who are we giving away our power to? And why? Why are we giving it away? Why is it that we think that we have no power? Why is it that we think we don't have any influence on what goes on around us? You know, since I just saw you make a statement and it just disappeared, I know I saw something about you being a literary coach and it's gone. I'm so confused on how that happened. I'm so confused. But this is what we, oh, there you go. Oh, she did, okay. But this is what we do. And it makes no sense because we have the power individually to be so much. And if you take your individual power and you combine your individual power with another like-minded friend, y'all become more powerful. Make sense? Again, my friend, Roy, there are lots of things we don't agree on. There aren't many that we disagree on. We have different ways of getting there. Like there are multiple streams of income, there should be multiple ways to get to success. The more ways you got, the easier your plan is to facilitate. When I talked about before, and I had a group, I faltered. But when we talked about agents of change, let's just say, as we're trying to build a better us, Roy has a group of friends that I don't connect with. I have a group of friends that Roy don't connect with. Poetically Speaking has some, Wanda has some, DJ has some. If we get together as a collective and we get the top 10 ideas, regardless as to who gave them, because we're going to vote in this top 10. We ain't gonna just pick folk from Roy because he run my JVN. We ain't gonna pick folk from DVP because it's show. We're gonna pick the best 10 based on what the group thinks, because we're gonna all put them down. And then whatever they are is what they are. This is what we take to the people. If they got questions, Roy can say, hey, well, this is one of the DVPs, so y'all gonna talk to him about this one. This one came from one, this one is mine. This is the one I can speak more passionately on, but this is what we are doing, because now we have an agenda. Because we don't have an agenda. We get upset because, oh man, they're doing something for everybody but us. Well, what are we asking for? We're asking for reparations, but nobody has a clue as to how that works. And to me, it really makes no sense. I was having a conversation before the show, and I'm confused. I read it. Ron, where were you born?
You said where or when?
Where?
West Palm Beach, Florida.
In the United States?
Yep.
So that makes you an American, right?
It does.
See, and that little phraseology, because reparations go to nationalities. American is a nationality. Negro ain't. White people are Americans. How many times do you hear white people introduce themselves or classify themselves as European Americans? And I ain't got nothing against, again, personal feelings. I ain't got nothing against nobody who want to be called an African American. But according to the law, I was born in Atlanta, Georgia. That makes me an American. I want my full rights as an American. Not as an African American, because Africa ain't giving me shit. I want my full rights as an American. Why do we see what white people are doing, and then we get mad? But we act like now we ain't full Americans. Where my ancestors come from, at the end they ain't got shit to do with me. If my ancestors from Scandinavia, what does that make me? It still makes me an American. Well, I came from Grady, which is in Atlanta. And we can keep talking about where my people came from. Again, that has very little to do with me and where I am. If Roy was, if let's just say we're gonna speak it into existence, Roy Network take off, and they say, hey Roy, can you come to England and produce a show over here? We got everything covered for 2 months. You know what Roy gonna say? Deuces. So Roy over there, Roy meets some nice lady, and I guess it's gonna have to be. We're gonna make it a year, make sure it makes sense. Roy has a baby over there. That baby is European. It ain't American. That's the system. Now they can apply for dual citizenship, but the baby was born in Europe, which makes the baby European. That's the system. Why is it that we don't want to be full-fledged Americans when we were born in America? Why are we giving up rights for the craziest of reasons? Make it make sense. What's the point in doing it? What's the point? But we want all these extra things that we think somebody owes us. But we're not putting forth any effort to do it. We're not putting forth any effort to get better. We're just asking for more. We want people to do more for us who don't owe us shit. I talked about Jerry Jones. Doug, how many millionaires, how many black millionaires has Jerry Jones created? We're going to say he's created in his time as owning the Dallas Cowboys at least 40. So what does he owe black people? He's created at least 40 millionaires. So that's $40 million he pumped into a black economy. How many millionaires has Kanye created? How many millionaires has Jordan created? Do we tell them they owe us something? So we know we have a man who we believe is a racist, but he's creating black millionaires. But we have other people who we look up to as speakers of our people. They're creating no millionaires. How many millionaires has Kyrie Irving created? He made $40 million this year. How many millionaires this year? Not in a lifetime. This year, how many millionaires did he created? But we want to stand behind him because he said something. Oh, he bought the Floyd family a home. You know, the Floyd family got paid quite handsomely from the state of Minnesota. So why does him buying a millionaire home count as something? Most of what he's done is for Native Americans. I ain't knocking what he's doing, but how do we pick him to follow? He's not about us. He looks like us, but he does more for Native Americans, which we're not Native Americans, remember, because we're African Americans. When we pick somebody who is doing something for us, who do we give our power to and why? Why? Do y'all remember how many people LeBron James asked for money when he started his school? What up, Mindless Chaos? Damn, I should have had you on the show with me. Do y'all remember how many people LeBron James asked for money? Do y'all remember all the commercials he did asking people to donate for his schools, where he promises that every kid who graduates will have a full scholarship? Do y'all remember how many people he insulted? But then you got Umar Johnson, who people follow religiously, who has been trying to build a school for at least 10 years now. But we don't sing LeBron James' name to the high heaven. Niggas is looking for a way to find out if he cheated on his wife, as opposed to holding him in high esteem for everything he did. Am I confusing leadership with No. What I'm saying is, if we're gonna call Jerry Jones a racist, which he may or may not be, has he done more for blacks than other black people? He has created millionaires. Now, what those he's created black millionaires. How many other people are creating black millionaires? Even if he gets paid off of it, that doesn't negate what he's done. He could sit back and penny pinch and get rid of all of them when it's time to pay him. But he is creating black millionaires. We're gonna say at least 40, but hell, he created 40 this year. What makes him a racist? What has he done that we can summarily make him a racist? What's up, Travis? See, we want to make everything a racist that's white. But if people make everything that's black something, we get offended. If they want to make what's black this, or the Mexico case where blacks are killing blacks, y'all need to get some white friends. See if white people are saying, yeah, that's why you can't go nowhere with blacks, so they kill each other. Oh, that ain't all blacks, that was just them. See, that was just them. But we'll do that summarily with white people. Now, leadership, everybody ain't built for leadership. A lot of leaders, at the end of the day, Wanda, you know this, a lot of leaders are manipulators. A lot of leaders become that way because they are following the money. They are following the money. How does that factor into the black nationhood? Because, Wanda, if he creates black millionaires, then why don't we require more from them? Because they're not the norm now. But what are these black millionaires doing for black neighborhoods? You got some who give back to schools. You got some who create their own schools and provide scholarships. But you got others who totally turn their back on us. We don't require anything from people who came from us, but we want people who are not of us to do more for us. At some point, when we're talking about how we need to get together, how we need to have our own village, how we need to have our own Black Wall Street, that's got to come from us. And the only way it can come from us is for us to contribute. As my father used to say, do what you have to so that you can do what you want to. Do what you have to so that you can do what you want to. So we take on jobs that we don't want. I'm sure you missed some things with your kids because you had to work, because it's what goes on. But there was a bigger payday at the end of the picture. But if somebody is paying us, then we can do a little bit more. Can't we? Can't we? But we choose not to, and we don't hold those amongst us more responsible. We help get you to where you are, and when you get to where you are, you stay there. You don't think about us no more. Exactly, Wanda. Most millionaires don't look back, but the ones that do look back and continue giving, if they don't look like us, we don't give them a pass. If they look like us, we give them a pass. That's us. We're still asking Massa to help us out when he has helped us out. The ones he helped just decided they didn't want to help us. So, See, I got a call one day from somebody who lives in Georgia. They're from Georgia. Hey, man, I need a big favor. I'm in a bind. I can't get this. I'm listening. You're from here. Your family's here. Won't nobody help you? No, man, they ain't going to help me. And I asked myself, why won't your family help you? Because I know them. They're not. They're well off. It's you they won't help. So you know that you can't ask them, so you want to ask somebody else. But your name is Mo with your family. We don't take care of each other. We will shit on each other and then want somebody else to come in and rescue us. That is the bulk of my point. Because as we get into this Black nationhood, as I told Travis before, one of the best pieces of advice I ever got when I started my march was, D, you realize that even hospitals can't save everybody. You can't either. Everybody can't go along for the journey. Some people are going to have to leave behind because they're not built for the village. They just want to take from it and plant seeds. They want to plant bad seeds in the village because we're giving them power, because we want to hold on to them, because we like them. The fact that he done killed 16 people, don't worry about that. He gonna stop. That's my dude. He good people. He just got caught up in a little something. And we stay down because we keep wanting to hold on to trash because we know them, because they're cool with us. But they don't bring anything positive to us. And again, we don't all have to get along. We don't all have to agree. We just cannot be destructive to each other. And then go ask another race to help us out because we chose to make bad decisions. Ferguson was making bad decisions. Ferguson was electing people. They were letting the super minority run their elections because they had been told from within that their votes didn't matter. So even though they outnumbered white people 4-1, white people ran Ferguson because the Black people had told themselves that they don't matter, that they got no power. It was told to them by people who looked like them. The power was theirs for the taking. If we want to get together, Wanda, you especially one of the smartest women I know. But if we're being honest, Wanda, we know based on this society that some men won't follow you just because you're a woman. Why is that? We create our own roadblocks and then we want somebody else to do it. Well, D, why don't you do it? Instead of Wanda knows more than me. There's some things Wanda is absolutely the tops on that I go to her for. So why can't she lead us? Man, you know how women get when they say, what? No, I don't know how they get. I don't know how they get. And there are people who have to argue with this because they don't believe a woman should lead. Interesting. Because most of them come from a single parent household. And we'll just leave that single parent we'll guess at what that single parent was. But you don't believe that women can do certain things, even though men start wars. What's the worst a woman could do? Start another war. Men start wars all the time, but we forgive them because they're men. Yes? So why not let a woman start a war? Let's see. Travis says, you know that everyone knows that, yet they still get elected or re-elected. Right. But why did they get re-elected or elected in the first place, Travis? We don't have any demands for them, but we will tell them what they haven't done. And it's nothing that they ever agreed to do. They never agreed to do it. How can I hold Wanda responsible for not making me a chocolate cake when Wanda never agreed to make me a chocolate cake? But my beef with Wanda is that Wanda, why didn't you make me a chocolate cake? She's like, what damn chocolate cake? It's a chocolate cake I wanted. That's why I voted for you, because I thought I was going to get a chocolate cake. Wanda never knew this. And even if she knew it, she never agreed to it. But we will elect people. Since Wanda didn't make me no cake, next election I'm voting for the white woman. But she ain't going to make you no cake either. But that's okay. Because that's how divisive we are. We will give our power away for something so simple and not coming to an understanding, which is why until we come up with an agenda for what Black people want, nothing will ever stand the test of time. We have no agenda. No, we don't have demands. Most of the demands we got are not even for the people we give them to. We want things from Washington that Washington has no control over. We don't understand who the agents of change are because we're so intelligent, dumbly, that we don't know who does what. If we understood that and we had demands, we would make demands at a local level so that it can go up, so that they can go up. But we don't. We want demands from up here and blame everybody else here. We don't understand the system. We keep thinking we know how the system works. But until you get around educated people who can tell you no, because clearly we all forgot Schoolhouse Rock. I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. Bam, bam, bam. We heard the songs. We forgot how they work. Everybody wants to be in charge. Everybody has a list of demands that work for them, and they want everybody to agree with it. Like I said, reparations is the buzzword now. It's so cute. We need reparations. Well, how does that happen? How does that happen? Reparations sound cute. DVP, I'm good. I'm the back end of life. We need more mental health facilities in our neighborhood so we can get taken care of early. So we will quit thinking that it is okay to beat kids because we all turned out good. Now understanding that we think it's okay to beat kids. Look at how we turned out. It's okay to beat kids because we don't know how to communicate. We have trauma that we don't even know we have, but that we won't acknowledge. We think it's okay. We, men, Black especially, think it's okay to have sex with a woman, get her pregnant, and leave her behind because she changed. We did that. We did that. We mad at her because she changed. She changed because I impregnated her. Damn, I created my own problem, but I'm going to blame her. This is what we do. Then we got demands. Oh, we want better house. We want better this. We want better job. You mean the job that you won't go to? The job you won't stay at? The jobs you want to get hired? What is it? What is it? I just had a guy tell me that, man, I can't find a job. What the hell you mean you can't find a job? What in the hell do you mean you can't find a job? Everybody and their mama hiring. Oh, but that ain't what I want. Oh, you can't find a job you want. Oh, see, there we go. You can't find one you want. Now you picky, but you ain't got no power. So you don't care about not having shit. You don't care. Oh yeah, here we go. Because everybody wants to be picky, but they ain't got no power. Everybody want to create their own problem, and they want somebody else to fix their problem. Women should keep their legs closed. First thing men always love to say. Women should keep their legs closed. Oh my God, I'm so tired of hearing that. Men don't have to bear no responsibility, even though they want to be kings and queens. Who are we giving our power to? And why? Why? We don't even talk about Breonna Floyd no more. You know why we don't talk about her? Because she's a black woman. But George Floyd's name stayed in our mouth. Because men want to be victims so bad. We want to be felt so bad. Oh, the world is against us. Oh, this. Oh, the world is against us. Check out my guest in 2 weeks. 1 in 6 women is sexually assaulted every day. 1 in 6 women is assaulted every day. How many men assaulted every day? Not 1 in 6. But, oh, we the most abused. We the most this. Give me a break. You're a king. But you want to be a victim. Because now you want to give away your power. Man, we can't catch a break. Not being able to catch a break would be if the Supreme Court or Congress passed a bill that said all men had to have vasectomies. Vasectomies are reversible. But we okay with women getting abortions. It's their body. See, every single woman who gets impregnated, you might not like my choice of words, but it is what it is. Every woman who gets impregnated lives with a parasite. Lives with a parasite until that baby is born. That baby is eating her. It is taking from her. The man don't lose nothing when he gets somebody pregnant. He don't feel nothing. All this goes on in a woman, and this is the one we want to control. Getting a vasectomy is just a snip. No muss, no fuss. But we'd rather tell her what she needs to do, because we ain't got to be responsible. But we want to be in charge. While the world is on us and we got women buying into this shit. Oh yeah, babe, I know when you go out there in the world, everybody's against you. Who the fuck is everybody against? Who? Who's against you? Who is against you? Tell me. Take it first, where you at? Who against you when you go out into the world every day? Roy, who's against you when you go out into the world every day? Travis, who's against you when you go out into the world every day? And when you answer that question, tell me, who is it that picks you up when you come home? Who is it that picks you up when you're down? Who is it that has constantly had our back? And the more they have our back, the more we take from them. Who? Who is after us? I guarantee you, Wanda has been more disrespected than we have. We don't want her to leave because she's a woman. If she got an opinion, she's an angry black woman. If she challenges us, she's emasculating us. When a man challenges another man, it ain't no big deal. But let a woman make the same challenge. Oh, you trying to emasculate me. But if we got the same exact argument, only one will be summarily dismissed, and that's Wanda's. Why is that? Because she's a woman. But yet we do the most whining and crying. Why is that? She's the most victimized. But we give up our power in order to try to push a false narrative. We give up our power in order to not have to be accountable or responsible. We give it up until we think we need it. Then we want to have an opinion. But if you got no power, what's the point of having an opinion? You got no power, so who cares? See, and Wanda, I know you're okay, so I can use you. When Wanda get ready to cook tonight, she don't care what DVP thinks she ought to cook. He got no power, and that say so. So if I be like, Wanda, you should cook spaghetti and meatball. Wanda can just send me a laughing emoji and make baked potatoes and squash if she want to. I got no say so in that. See, that's not truly having no power. But when Trina get ready to cook and she said, baby, what you want? Oh, I got say, I got the power. There's some shit I run. Oh, you don't run this? You don't run the NFL? You're right. Even Roger Goodell don't run the NFL. He works for a group of people who he makes decisions for to keep his check. Everybody answers to somebody. Except us, black men. We don't answer to nobody. We just play victim until we want to be kings. So while I'm being victimized, I'm asking Wanda to submit to me. While I'm being victimized and traumatized and all this other eyes, I'm looking for the Black women to help hold me up. But when she needs me to hold her up, where am I? Where am I then? I'm too busy licking my own wounds and feeling sorry for myself to be able to be the king, warrior, protector that I swore I was going to be. Then I want to talk about all the woe is me stories. All of them. Why is that? Where's our list of demands, Travis? Ladies and gentlemen who are watching the show, wherever you watch it from, post a list of demands that Black people got. Because tell me where I can find them. Tell me where I can find them, because I would love to see them. See, LGBTQ, they got a list of demands. That's why they get what they want. They don't go in there with a bunch of emotion. They got specific stuff they want. Specifics. When they wanted to be able to get married, that was something specific. They didn't go down with this mythical, as me and Roy like to talk about. We talk about preferences and priorities. They ain't going out with this list of 60 things they wanted. They going out with specific line items and get them accomplished. They wanted this. They wanted to be able to get insured. They wanted to be able to get the benefits, reap the benefits of a lost loved one. What do Black people want? Tell me where I can find them. Tell me. What I see Black people love to do is wait till bad shit happen and start a GoFundMe. But tell me where I can find this list, Travis. Wanda, you still with me? Bacon Fresh, Roy, because I know y'all smarter than me. Come on, give me some feedback. Where's this list? Don't get quiet now. This is about coming up with one of the best lessons I learned from Jackie Barrett. I got you. Thank you. Don't bring me problems if you don't have solutions. Anybody can tell me what's wrong. Anybody can tell me what I'm doing wrong. If you can't tell me how to fix it, who cares what you think? Tell me, give me a plan to fix it. If Wanda makes me something and I don't like it, I'm like, hey, Wanda, I think you put a little bit too much pepper in there. I can't just tell her the cake tastes bad. I don't know why it tastes bad. Well, I ain't helping nothing. I'm just adding on to her list of shit that she got to take from me because she's a Black woman. You ought to know. She don't know. She made the cake the way she like it. She like a little spice. I don't. But if I don't say nothing, how's she supposed to know? But where is this list of demands that Black people have? Where is it? Who agreed on Black people wanting reparations while our mental health steadily declines and we are too arrogant to acknowledge that we have mental health issues that need to be addressed before we can truly move forward? Who is it that will tell us that when a young boy has sex with an older woman, that he has been sexually molested, but we are too ignorant to know that because as a young boy, we look at it as a badge of honor to have had sex with an older woman. It's cool for a 14-year-old boy to have had sex with a 20-year-old woman. He does not understand that he has been molested. Society will not admit to him that he's been molested. Oh, boys will be boys. Because that's the narrative we push, because we don't know how to help each other, because we don't want to admit that there's an issue. Who holds us accountable and responsible for unprotected sex? Remember now, we kings. So even if she asks for it, it's up to us to follow through with it. And we know what the byproduct is. We got cable TV because Lord knows we didn't pay attention to health ed. Who holds us accountable and responsible for our decision? Who does that? I was just watching a show on ID channel, Real Reality, where there was a Black man who had HIV, who had sex with over 20 women, knowingly, unprotected. I know it's their fault. I know it's their fault. Doug, you're one of the smartest people I know. Where's this list of demands that Black people want? Can you tell me where to find it? But, you know, and we can laugh about it now because, yeah, as a boy, we did fantasize about such abuse, but it is abuse. It is abuse. We don't have no say-so in that. Where's this list, Travis? I know you with me. DJ, you still here? Where's this list of demands? I would love to see this. I'm gonna do a whole show on it if y'all can present it to me. A whole show. Doug, we went to the same high school. We saw fights. I don't know if you were there for a couple of the shootings, but by the standard, we were all involved in PTSD events. Who helped us through those? We didn't think nothing about fighting. We didn't think a whole lot about shootings happen. That's not normal. That is not normal. Who talks to us about that? Who helps us understand that it is not normal? And just because we survived does not mean it was a good thing. That's like saying because slaves survived slavery, they should be okay. You can't have it both ways. Just because you survive something does not mean that you're okay. Does not mean that it did not have a drastic effect on you. It did not affect your mentality. Parents beat kids because they lack the ability to effectively communicate. So out of anger, they beat them. When I did the study, when I did the survey, and everybody tried to make an excuse for their parent, and I got it. But the question was specific, Travis. When, if you ever got a whipping, when did you ever feel love while you were getting beaten? Nobody said, I did. Oh, I understood. Well, I asked you if you understood. Did you feel love while you were getting beat? So why do we use abuse as a form of love? That is why we have problems, because people think they were okay with the whoopings they got until they get hit with domestic violence, until they get hit with a simple assault because they hit a woman or a woman hits a man and, oh, baby, you know I love you. Because you got taught that violence and love were somehow on the same wavelength. Because your parents beat you out of love, you didn't recognize that you were being traumatized, that now you suffer from PTSD because you associate love with pain. You're not okay. You are not okay. You need to learn effective communication. Imagine if we went to work and our employer, we didn't understand what our employer was telling us, and they beat us to help us understand. And they told us, I know you're a great employee. I'm doing this out of love because I don't want to fire you, but I'm going to beat you to make you understand. We ain't going for that shit. We ain't going for that. Doug says, I don't know about the list of things we supposed to want. I just know when trolls don't want black folks to vote, they start saying Democrats ain't providing reparations. And that is so true, and neither are the Republicans. And sometimes in this whole politic game, the battle of the bullet, you got to shoot at the worst evil. Because you can't let the worst evil, because you can't beat the worst evil as it keeps growing. The lesser evil you may be able to overtake, but you will never overtake the worst evil first. Nobody's providing reparations. So theoretically, that should mean they're on an equal playing field. But they're not. They're not. List bills designed to positively benefit the black community when presented are usually ignored. But we got all these black leaders. How do they get these black leaders if they constantly ignore us and they constantly sell us a bill of goods? Let's get some other leaders. It's time for a new generation. It's time to get rid of everybody over 70. Everybody. Presidents make promises to get our votes and tune us out once they take the oath. And a lot of it is true, and a lot of it ain't. Because as we learned with Obama, even some of the stuff they want to do, if we don't understand how Senate and Congress works, all their work is thwarted. The workers toward it because we didn't give them, we gave them a Lamborghini and we tried to give them regular gas to feed that Lamborghini. It's only going to run for so long on regular gas. It's only going to run for so long on regular gas. Remember that HBCU thing that 45 gave It's the biggest ever. It's the, oh yeah, look at what he's doing for black colleges. It is the exact same one that Obama tried to do, minus the 1619 talk. It's the exact same one. But Mitch McConnell and his crew wouldn't vote for it. But people start thinking, look at Trump. He trying to do something Obama should have did this. Obama tried, and he got shot down by Mitch and the boys. But nobody knows that because we weren't into politics like that. We only know the end result. We don't know the steps it takes to get there. And we don't have a list of all the nay votes. We don't know how to look it up and see it. But the Republicans were not going to let Obama do the best bill ever for HBCUs because they knew he had too much power with us already. They didn't want to make him a living legend. But we didn't know this. We didn't know this. Like, and I ain't picking at nobody in particular, but I heard this over and over again. This is why I researched it. When people kept talking about what he didn't do, even though the hate bill for blacks came out under Obama, I heard so many black people talking, even during Ahmaud Arbery's death. Oh, there ain't no bill for, there is no hate. We need our own hate bill. There's one for Asians, there's one for this. There is one for black people. Ignorance is a choice. We chose not to look it up because I had to do was Google it. Is there a hate bill for black people? And bam, it would have popped up. But it's easier. It's easier to spread misinformation than to be accountable and responsible. It's easier than looking it up for yourself. Let's just blame the black guy. And that became our mantra. And damn, we've been into it. We've been into it. Why? Because somebody told us. Somebody told us. And we believed them. With no evidence. We gave them the power. We give each other the power when we denounce things. When we don't give it its full credit. When we don't, as black men, push black women to the top of the chart, because no matter what we've been through, no matter how many switch over to the other side, no matter how many switch over to the other race, what has been consistent throughout time and history is that black women have been there for us when we needed them most. But let's be honest. Have we repaid them in kind for that? Have we repaid them? Are we there when they need us most? Are we? No, because we're too busy whining about what we ain't got and how we're the most disrespected, we're the least this. Ooh. This is water, y'all, because I'm cleaning out my system, but Lord knows I need some tequila. I need some tequila. Bad. But this is what we do, ladies and gentlemen. We give it up. One rock at a time, one block at a time. While we talk about what we ain't got, while we're living in the land of plenty. There ain't many things that we can't have if we ain't willing to work for it. I'm already in therapy. Hell, I got 2 therapists now. I need tequila. We have power. Wanda became one of the smartest people I know because she had power to go look at books, to read books. She had the power to talk to me, something that she wouldn't have had 100 years ago. She would have had to stay in her place. Now she's bound by her own chains. DVP is bound by his own chains. Roy is bound by his own chains. We have opportunity to do things. It sucks. Some of them require work. Some of them require work. And if you want to make it better for the next generation, one of the easiest ways is to get life insurance. That's how a lot of generational wealth started. Life insurance. We don't want to do it because we're selfish. It's about me. Me, 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 me. And it sucks. It sucks. It's 10 minutes till. I gotta get ready to do something else. I gotta write some stuff up. Wanda, me and you need to talk because I need to have you here on the show, man. I need for you to spread some of your wisdom. I don't need for you to type it and I read it. I need for you to be here so you can share it. I want them to hear your strong, impassioned voice as I introduce y'all to one of the smartest women, not black. She's one of the smartest women that I know. She is my cheat sheet. I got a question, she can help me. If she can't help me, she can point me in the right direction. Agents of change. What we have to start doing, when we want change, we have to learn who is it that can affect the change. Not who's at the top of the chain. Who is it that can affect the change? How do we get it started? How do we get it started? That's what we have to start knowing. These are the steps. These are the steps. I can't just wake up and say, I want a PhD. I have to plan to get that PhD. Once I talk these steps, then I can say, okay, I'm on my way to get this PhD. Get with your people, Travis. Ask them what are things that black people need. I'm so tired of seeing this damn 40 acres and a mule. I looked at a page they were discussed. Oh, I want some livable land with property on it, $1 million for the rest of my life tax-free. You have got to be shitting me. You have got to be shitting me. What did you lose again? You can't even prove where you're from. You're scared to do ancestry.com, then you're scared to prove where you're from because you got to prove it to get it. Oh, I ain't do that because they're going to plant my DNA on some crime scene. See, that shows the level of what you can imagine. You don't need reparations. You need repairing. I don't do Facebook Messenger because they looking at my message. What is it that you circulating on social media that you scared they're going to be seen? It's like these people who keep putting up, I do not agree for my pictures to be shared. When the hell can you stop from sharing your picture once you put it up here? Nobody. And if you think that little thing helps you, you are clueless as hell. But I see people do it all the time. Oh, Facebook gonna start charging. They said they ain't gonna start charging, but twice a year, here this thing go again. Facebook gonna start charging unless you put this up there. Facebook gonna do this. They can take your picture and use it. Of course they can take your picture. They can take your picture. Guess what? I can take your picture. Wanda has shared some of my stuff. I've shared some of her stuff. She can't stop me. She can make it as private as she wants to, but if I can see it, I can screenshot it. If I can screenshot it, I can share it. She can make it a little harder for me. She make it so I can't hit the little share thing. False sense of security. The trolls always make it seem like we only have ethnic status to be concerned about. We also have economic statuses that need protecting. For example, the GOP wants to cut Social Security and Medicare. They vote against most things that put money into the pockets of middle class and working people. The agenda is to keep folks working for cheap for their entire lives, but they try to misdirect to get folks worrying about something for blacks only. Well, most of us have paid in the SSI, and we need to be able to have that as part of retirement. Don't fall for the trolls, okie doke. See, they will tell you a lot of shit. And see, Doug is a smart dude. Look at Trump's last tax plan that everybody said was so good. It made the rich richer. Remember how much money Bezos them got? Remember how much money Musk, the Twitter guy, they got under Trump? His tax plan made the rich, insanely rich. Well, it made everybody else, but they sent y'all $2,000 and y'all thought y'all was doing something. They played with you. I remember being at a club and a dude said, I'm voting for Trump. He sent me a check. You stupid as hell. He ain't sent you no check, player. He sent you a letter with his signature on it. Trump don't write checks. Do the math. Look it up. Trump don't even like paying his own bills. But if you want to convince us, all you got to do is flash money. Exactly. As Wanda said, read. Everything is out there for you to learn. And don't just read your friend's post. Do a little research. Google is free. Everybody, damn near everybody got, and their mom got a smartphone now. It's ways to find things out. There are ways to find things out. And everything ain't hidden. A lot of it is in plain sight. You just can't be scared to look it up. You can't be scared to look it up. Is Warnock the best person ever? No, he's not. Herschel ain't even in the top 3 million of the best people to run for Congress. Marjorie Taylor Greene, there are certain people who should never be there. But there's some Democrats I wouldn't vote for either. They living off the past. I don't trust Democrats who always bring up Martin Luther King. Tell me what you've done. Martin Luther King been dead for a hell of a long time. These new kids, some of these new kids don't even know who he is. But everything you do is tied to his name. It's time for something different. It's time for something different. And that means these old coops, if they got good ideas, fine, keep them around and let them be a part of that. But they don't need to run shit no more. And Trump, you're right. The tax cut for the corporations were permanent, while those for individuals were not. But GOP gonna keep telling you that Dems raise their taxes. And we'll believe it. We'll believe it. Because that's what we do. Be quick to repeat this information. All right, it's 7:57, so I got to get up out of here. Wanda, let's chat because I need you on here. I love your passion. I love the way you speak. I don't think you're an angry Black woman, but you are a knowledgeable Black woman. You are one of the most knowledgeable women I have ever met, and I am glad to know you. Travis, whenever you're ready to argue, let me know. We're playing something. We're playing something. Thank you, Fresh. As always, it's a pleasure. I'm assuming my super producer is still probably out there doing shady deals and, doing his phone thing. So with that being said, y'all know what it is. This has been Random Thoughts with DVP. Thank you for letting me in your living rooms or kitchens or wherever it is you saw me. Hopefully you weren't driving. Politically speaking, come on now. I need something. What you got? Let's get together and talk. We got to do a better job of promoting each other. It's free to promote on social media. We got to do a better job. Stop being so selfish. Stop thinking everything is about you. When they do better, I do better because we all know each other. We got to adopt that village mentality for real. Until next week, y'all know what it is, right? Peace, popcorn, and chicken grease. And we out.